Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be working on Lesson 8, Roots, and our objective is to find square roots and cube roots. This will probably be a review, but it's a really good thing to go over before we get into the rest of our chapters. A square root of a number is one of its two equal factors. You probably remember this from finding the doubles when you were working on multiplication tables, like 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16. In symbols, it looks like this. If x squared equals y, then x is a square root of y. So for example, if 5 squared equals 25, 5 is a square root of 25, just like those doubles I was talking about. Every positive number has both a positive and negative square root. In most real-world situations, only the positive or principal square root is considered. A radical sign is used to indicate the principal square root. If n squared equals a, then n equals plus or minus the square root of a. So this may not have been introduced to you before, but basically what this means is that every value has a positive and negative square root. So for example, the positive and negative square root of 25 equals positive and negative 5. And the rationale behind this is 5 times 5 equals 25, and negative 5 times negative 5 also equals 25. So let's look at a couple examples. First of all, we're being asked to find each square root, and we're just being asked here to find the square root of 64. Well, I know that 8 times 8 is 64, so the square root of 64 is 8. We could also say 8 squared is 64. For number 2, we're being asked to find the positive and negative square root of 1.21. And the square root of 1.21 is 1.1. And since I'm being asked to find the positive and negative square root, I have to put the positive and negative sign in front of 1.1 to have an accurate answer. Number 3, I'm being asked to find the negative square root of 25 over 36. And when I'm dealing with fractions, I just take the square root of each value independently. So the square root of the numerator 25 is 5. The square root of the denominator 36 is 6. And I need to make that a negative 5 over 6 because I'm being asked to find the square root of negative 25 over 36. So my answer is negative 5 over 6. And finally for 4, I'm being asked to find the square root of only the value negative 16. And this is a little different. Notice that the negative sign is inside the radical sign versus outside. If the negative sign is inside the radical sign, my answer is that there is no real square root because no number times itself is equal to negative 16. I would need to multiply 4 times negative 4. And since these are not identical, they're not the square root. So I'd like you to try these problems on your own and then come back and check your answers. So for problem A, we're being asked to find the square root of 9 over 16. And basically, I'm just taking the square root of each individual fraction. So the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. And the square root of 16 is 4, because 4 times 4 equals 16. For problem B, I'm being asked to find the positive and negative square root of 0.81. And my answer is positive and negative 0.9. Problem C, I'm being asked to find the negative square root of 49. And my answer is negative 7. And the reason I'm listing it as negative 7 is I'm only being asked to find the negative square root, not the positive and negative square root. And then finally D, I'm being asked to find the square root of negative 100. And the answer to this is there's no real solution because no two identical numbers will give me negative 100. So I could say 10 times negative 10, but 10 and negative 10 are not the same. So therefore, there's no real solution. For example 5, we're looking at things a little differently. We're being asked to solve t squared equals 169. So essentially, we're looking to find the value of t, and that value squared will give us 169. So the definition of a square root is t is equal to plus or minus the square root of 169. And I found that t equals 13 and negative 13 is the solution. And the reasoning is 13 times 13 equals 169, and negative 13 times negative 13 also equals 169. So next I'd like you to try these three problems. Once again, stop the video, try them on your own, then come back and check your answers. And we're looking for square roots, but just in a different format. So for problem E, we have 289 equals a squared. To find our answer, we take the square root of 289, which I know is 17. So therefore, a squared equals plus or minus values of 17. And I can solidify this because I know that 17 times 17 is equal to 289. For F, I have m squared equals 0.09. To find my answer, I take the square root of 0.09. And the square root of 0.09 is 0.3. So my final answer is m squared equals the positive and negative version of 0.3. And again, I can clarify by taking 0.3 times 0.3, and that gives me 0.09. The same would be true for the negative version of 0.3. And then for G, I've got y squared equals 4 over 25. To find my answer, I take the square root of 4 over 25. I know the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 25 is 5. And my final answer is y squared equals the positive and negative value of 2 over 5. And again, I can solidify that because I know that 2 over 5 times 2 over 5 equals 4 over 25. So your assignment for today is page 75, number 1 through 9. Please make sure to follow the directions on the checklist and submit your assignment to Canvas once you're finished.